This is a discussion of reflecting on rapid city change under the influence of globalization in the film The Big Blue Lake, as directed by Jesse Zhang. This is brought to you by Claudia, Ivan, and Jason. In our modern world, cities are undergoing rapid change every day. Under this global trend of urbanization, many things are to be sacrificed, such as nature and culture. We embrace these changes for the sake of development, but how often do we get in touch with these near-extinct values that may already be forgotten in our cities? Due to globalization, where different cultures increasingly influence one another, some cultures, especially Western, have shown to be more dominant in this process, which leads to a homogenization of popular culture. As director Jesse Zhang had mentioned in an interview, she was inspired to make films regarding this topic after noticing the large amount of transnational chained restaurants and cafes found in Chinese cities. It is helpful to note that this is an independent film, and the depiction of Hong Kong as a city is different from what we have always seen in Hollywood films. In Hollywood films, Hong Kong is always used as a backdrop for its famous night view and skyscrapers. On the other hand, Big Blue Lake as an independent film departs from this usual Hollywood image of Hong Kong and focuses on the rural aspect. This film was also first premiered overseas in the Stockholm International Film Festival, which serves the purpose of showing the world a different side of Hong Kong and displaying special cultural traditions. The concepts of liminal space, self-reflexivity, and eco-criticism are explored in this film to illustrate the ideas of change. Liminal space is defined as a blurry boundary zone between established, clear spatial areas. It can also represent a transitional period in terms of time or stages in life. Characters' struggle and frustration in life contribute to the idea that they are currently undefined and unclear about the future. Memory, as symbolized by the Big Blue Lake, can be considered as a psychological space at the back of our minds. The setting of Ho Chung Village is a liminal space itself, since it is stuck between the urban development and the rural side of the city. It represents the traditional culture through displaying the village locality and distinct Chinese traditions. It also provides a stage for the characters to trace their memories for identity and self-reflection. These ideas are further highlighted by the use of lighting, such as the running blue hue throughout the movie, and the lamp in the fish tank, which creates a fantasy blurry effect for liminality. The use of natural lighting during the day also emphasizes nature and the non-artificiality of the village. The abandoned classroom further suggests change, as a remainder after the younger generation transit from within the village to the city or even out overseas. Through the character's reflection on a personal context, it raises awareness on a wider view for the audience to reflect on the passing of time and the transformation of the landscape of Hong Kong. Such theme is illustrated through the use of close-up frames of the characters looking through glass. The image of the protagonists looking from outside suggests their identity as outsiders looking in. It can also represent a look into the past in search of inner self-reflection and memories. The use of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata No. 14 assisted in showing the thoughts of the characters. There is a hint of sadness in this link to the male protagonist's memories. The use of music in the background, even during the character's monologue, suggests sadness and regret as a running stream of thought. A special technique of inserting scenes of villagers telling their own stories and reminiscing about the past make the film seem documentary-like at times. This adds a sense of realism which contrasts with the fantasy of the lake. The villagers talk about farming and distinct features of Hong Kong, such as working for the Star Ferry. The audience is then reminded of Hong Kong's collective memories and its stand in distinctiveness on a global stage. The display of the river becoming a ditch shows that nature has been sacrificed for urban development, and this evokes eco-criticism and reflection on preserving the environment. Background sounds of nature, such as water running and birds chirping, are used to emphasize the serenity of nature, which contrasts to what we hear daily in the city. In conclusion, these concepts are very much intertwined, and the presentation of one leads to another. These concepts reinforce the idea of change that a city experiences under globalization and reminds viewers of the distinctiveness of disappearing spaces in Hong Kong through inviting viewers to resonate with the character's search for inner reflection.